put it on mine. I'm going to put it in the group quick here. I have a sub. I'm gonna take off the subscribe and then resubscribe, so I'm in a chance to win the autopilot.
By the way, we are live, so thank you everyone for joining us today. We just went live, and the first comment I want to put there while people are just jumping into the channel is, give Chris some love as well on his YouTube channel. He is putting out videos daily on a whole bunch of stuff there, and there's a lot of, they're not even short tutorials. They are fairly long.
Oh yeah.
So make sure you do take full advantage of that, because it's another great learning opportunity for everyone. So make sure you do give Chris's channel some love. His channel link is in the comments and in the live chat. So just, if you can, give that some love as well.
Awesome.
Also give this channel some love, a like and everything else while we're waiting people coming. Just before we go any further, I've recently hit 30,000 subscribers and I want to hit 45,000. So anyone between 30 and 45, I'm going to be randomly picking, and you will win a free lifetime license of SEO Autopilot. So make sure you do like, share, and everything else. If you go to my website, you can actually win more points by sharing the URL with your friends and on your social media. And obviously that leaderboard is obviously going to come into consideration when I'm selecting a winner. So make sure you do that. But anyway, back to our stuff. Chris, how have you been in the last week?
Oh, awesome. Doing pretty good. I've just been working on a couple of small projects. I've been playing with a couple tools, so just busy and working and putting out videos, answering. I'm starting to get more emails now, so that's really helpful. I like to sift through and really cherry pick who do I think would be a good fit for me. Yeah, you've
got to sift through and cherry pick, definitely.
Yes.
But anyway, guys, we are here for a live AMA, and we want to make sure that we give as much value as we possibly can. Knowledge bombs all over the place. So ask them away, ask black hat questions, ask deep, dirty questions. If it's illegal, we're not likely to answer.
Hypothetical answers.
Yeah, we don't, but just generic answers. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? What about this, or what's your thoughts on that? We're very both open to answering whatever we have to answer. So just ask away anything. Don't make it, what about keyword research? Give us something better for to get our teeth stuck into. But the first one we had, which was from, I'm not even going to say your name. I'll call you Shuvo. Your first name's too long. Do you use GSA for tiered links?
Still using GSA? Yes, I still use GSA. I mean, again, I think we've talked about it before, but third tier, fourth tier, and that's once I have an established property I'm trying to, boost that say a Web 2 or a guest post, or generally something that's way far from my site or someone else's site. And if it's, as a word of caution, any client site, I never, ever, ever touch GSA or any type of auto-generated ever, never, because it's non-necessary. I wouldn't take a client that didn't have a budget.
But yeah, it's all about budgets. SEO Autopilot's also good for tiered link building, though, if you're looking for that. Gives you a bit more freedom. And yeah,
it's a big list
to use. Black Hat practical video. Now that's not sure that's a question, but Chris has a whole ton of Black Hat practical actionable videos on his YouTube channel, as do I. So make sure that you do check out both channels. Black Hat is very generic, Black Hat what. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff, link building, negative SEO, that, the whole works. So check out the channels, man.
Yeah, you inspired me with that negative SEO video. You did. I was like, this is You know what? I got to talk about that. Yeah, I was inspired.
So Indian Man is asking, what is the use of label in a blog post?
Labeling a blog post? What do you mean by label?
Tags. I'm assuming he's going to talk about tags in WordPress, which just creates another URL, and I wouldn't touch them.
I don't. Yeah, if we're talking about in a CMS, I wouldn't use them. No, I do not use them.
Nah, it just creates another URL, which basically is going to give you problems and make you do more work in terms of getting rid of that URL. So just don't use them, is what I would say, Indian Man. And obviously Chris is doing that. DDA Slammer, good to see you, Didier. Learning loads, absolutely loving what our guys are doing. Thank you very much, Didier. And it's good to see that LinkedIn comments also come through onto this platform now. Ryan McRosty, you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always good to get good feedback. Right, so thanks for doing this. How do we get free? If you're referring to SEO Autopilot, you have to subscribe to my channel. Go to the URL that I put on there on my website. You can get more information on that page, and it will be someone selected between the 30,000 and the 45,000 marker. So yeah, people.
What's that picture noise? Do you hear that camera flash noise?
Yeah, it's me taking screenshots of all the viewers that are watching. So,
oh, cool. Okay. I'm like, what is that? I was up late, but not that late.
David Willemstein, thank you. Thank you. Namaste. So, Jerry Van ES, what is any black hat trick that is often used within the casino niche?
I mean, I've seen a lot of very black hat links being used within the casino niche. I mean, I wasn't really into the casino niche as much as maybe pharmaceuticals. But I would assume that the best tricks that I've been seeing that have been working is just very black hat links. I mean, that seems to be the number one thing, along with EDUs. But I'm not necessarily in the casino space, so to give you an A+ answer wouldn't be for me.
Casinos, you're literally going to have to use PBNs, tiered link building, 301 redirects, and any other dirty trick that you can. And that also includes niche edits, potentially using hacked links, SAP links, anything at all. These are all used in the casino niche, and these guys are always using tens of thousands of pounds to do that. I've got friends in the casino niche who just buy any old PBN, and they don't even care whether they're relevant or not. And I think relevance goes out the window when it comes to the casino niche as well, because it's so hard to get links, or you're charged more because you are a casino and people assume, rightly or wrongly, you've got more money. So literally any dirty dog tactic you can pull out the bag. You've got to, anyone doing SEO in the casino niche has got to have no morals. They've got to lie through their teeth. You've got to be creative. You've got to think outside the box. And that's not for everyone. And some people say, oh no, we're white hat, we can't do that. But, at the end of the day, there's billions of pounds to be made in the casino niche, and people would shit on their own grandmother to win. So that's what you're up against. And you just have to get a very experienced person who really has no moral compass to do your work. So hopefully that answers that.
Tell us how you feel, Craig.
Yeah. Diddy is asking, if you were to start from scratch, how would you do it? Looking at ranking a website in about 6 months to a year, that's easy, unless you're in the casino niche. But how would you do it, Chris?
How would I go about it?
Yeah.
Well, first I would secure a VPN so I had very fast hosting. That'd be the first step. Then I'd harden the server. Then after that, I would think to myself, okay, what are the main keywords and secondary keywords that I'm targeting? And I would produce 10 pieces of pillar content, and then I would get 10 pieces of supporting articles, and I would launch them all at the same time. And then I would give it a little bit of time, and then I'd start building links to the supporting articles. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. I think it really depends on whether this is an e-com website or whatever it's going to be, and obviously the level of competition. And it really comes down to budget and the level of competition you've got. Now, that is going to be the difference between doing it in 6 months to a year, or 18 months or 2 years. Depends how many keywords you're going for, how competitive that niche is, and how much you're actually spending. Both on content, links, and any kind of technical stuff. Unless you guys have that experience and expertise in house, and I don't mean by doing piddly outreach, you're going to have a bit more than that, to boost a website from scratch, because you've got people who've got 5 and 10 years on you. So you're going to have to look at buying up some links. It's the only way you're going to go from zero to somewhere within a considerable period of time. I would always look to get the website out there, similar to you, Chris, get some decent solid content on there, some supporting articles based around that, slam the hell out of it with links, make sure you've got a good internal linking structure as well, go into those power pages, make sure the website is, as I said, fast, all that kind of stuff, and then the links kick in. It's really as simple as that.
Don't rush the links.
Yeah, just drip feed them all. I don't go away and spend 3 months just doing content. I will start building authority to a domain month 1 as well. Some content, some authority, and stuff like that. I think because links has got to be drip fed on, and it's got to, people are now talking about the latest update being about velocity and, whatever. But I don't like to rush links. I just like to build up, some base power and then grow from there. So that's how I would do it. RD, how to start a local SEO agency.
Get your first client.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I mean, local is generally pretty easy. I mean, at least in our space, it was just a matter of who's ranking and find the guy that's on page 2, because if it's men, they want to be on page 1 and they know who their competition is. Pick up, like I always tell people, pick up the phone and start calling these people. Eventually, you're going to get a yes. And you just have to be competitive the first time. As long as you can show reward to that first person for the right price, get somebody to say, hey, this is great, then they'll start coming in month after month. But you have to get that first client. And don't be scared to pick up the phone. Picking up the phone works. I mean,
yeah.
Can't be scared to pick up the phone.
I think you also have to consider whether you actually, I started an agency and I didn't even want to start an agency. I was just getting, as Chris said, got the first client, and I got the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then I thought, fuck this, I can't sell and do the work, so let's get a sales guy in. Then I thought, I can't do the work, manage the sales guy, so get a content writer in, and it basically was, I ended up having more and more staff all the time without even thinking about it. But the key part was the client growth side of things, and then obviously you can scale up fairly quickly.
Agency is rough. I mean, you really need to have some people that they're aligned with how you see how to do SEO amongst marketing and everything else. So it's a team, and it's a lot of work, and it's constant. So it's not necessarily for me. I'm more along the lines of consulting. Oh, here, I can help you with this and lead you in the right direction. But as far as implementing the work and the tasks, I don't know.
Agency's not for me, but it doesn't mean no one can set it up, but it is a lot of hard work, untrustworthy people, clients being pains, it's a whole mishmash of problems. And no one wants a problematic life. So each to their own, but start getting the first client. Just be careful. You can outsource a lot of the stuff. You don't have to hire local, so you can outsource content to anywhere in the world, links to anywhere in the world, even sales to anywhere in the world. I had this thing in my head of building an agency, and I hired all local staff, and it was costing me a fortune, and they weren't that clever. To be honest. So, hire someone of the same caliber or better in another country with better work ethic. There's so many options, And I hope you do have some success with it as well if you do decide to roll that out. But make sure that you're starting an agency for the right reasons, because you want to do client work. It's not easy and it's not a quick cash cow.
No, it's not quick. It's not quick.
Yo, Gareth Dane. Gareth Dane is here. We'll just give you some abuse later on, Gareth. Nah, I'm only kidding. Gareth's a good friend of mine. He's a good lad. Indian man, please, sir, please reply, sir, please. Listen, guys, we've gone through the questions, first come, first serve. It may take us 10 minutes to answer your questions, if not longer, so just please be patient there. We are working our way through as many as we can. Do PBNs still work?
Yes.
Yes, they do. We mention that every week on this show. They do still work. They are very effective. Anyone who says they don't work is probably likely to have not done it properly. Just avoid leaving footprints. Be careful. Treat websites as individual websites. Give them their own backlink profile. Make content unique on there. That's certainly ways to avoid leaving footprints. What have you got to add to that, Chris?
I think all links are good until proven not. So PBN, public PBN, niche edit, whatever it is, I think it's all effective, and every link is good until it's not, So yes, they absolutely work. I just would be very, very careful of where you're buying them or getting them, acquiring them. And it's a lot of work to do it yourself. So that's all I could really add.
Perfect, Chris. Guys, if you could just give the channel a like if you're enjoying the video, subscribe and all of that stuff. Dave Willemstein, it is outdated. I can't remember what the question was there with that one, Dave, but yes, I'm sure it is.
Hey, Ken.
City. Hi, Chris. See you here again. One of your fan club.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Javed Hakimi. Hi, guys. Good to see you guys. What is more important for you guys? An amazing on-page on your website or getting backlinks for similar relevant niches? What's more important, Chris?
Both. I mean, you can't really put emphasis on just one thing. It all starts with technical and on-page, but the links and clicks and everything is all important. So I can't just say one thing.
Yeah, I would back that up. There's guys out there in the SEO or the marketing industry who say it's all about technical, or it's all about the content, or it's all about the links. Anyone who says that, really doesn't understand how the game is played. You have to make sure you're ticking all of those boxes properly. They're all very, very important factors. And you wouldn't build links and make great content on a website that ran like a bag of crap. Surely, that's just counterproductive. And again, you wouldn't, build links to a website that had crap content or whatever. So, they're all equally important. And I would say that, as part of a process, some people may build out content first and then come to link building last. Obviously technical is going to be done primarily with your web build. I do it slightly differently, where I still do drip feed on links from the get-go as well. I just think doing everything naturally and in stages, rather than me slamming up, 1,000 pages or whatever straight away, and then going away and trying to get links for that. It's just not going to get the lift off that I need. So I maybe put 5 pages on, build some links to the home page, get some power, do some links to some of those internal pages, crack out some more content, and rinse and repeat.
You like to primarily send to the home at first 1 or 2 very powerful links to the homepage, but do you generally build out a piece of content to build links to power the site? Is that generally? Yeah. Okay. Me too.
I mean, obviously, links to your homepage and building up your general domain authority is important, and I would probably say I would sway more to the homepage at the start. But if my big moneymaker is a search term like SEMrush tutorials, and I've got a full page on that, why the hell would I send links to the homepage? Do you know what I mean? You've got to mix it up and power up the whole site. That's what works for me. So, yeah, that is just my 2 pence worth. Mike Crest, good to see you, Mike. Do you use Schema and use keyword stuffing in schema, say like creative work, etc., do you see an effect?
No, I think schema is very, very important. I think multiple types of schema and microdata are important together on a page. But I think that stuffing it, if you mean keyword stuffing inside of the schema, I would not do. But using multiple types of schema and microdata on a page, highly effective.
I mean, I don't personally. I've only started implementing schema. I'm always late to the party with these things. I think there's more to do than worrying too much about knowledge graphs and stuff like that. You know, I've got underlying issues where I severely lack content and stuff. So I've been working, you know, on that for a while and only implement schema. But I've not really. I'm quite cautious with schema at the moment, and I'm using a tool called schemaapp.com, which belongs to a girl called Martha Van Berkel. But yeah, I'm being guided by Martha Van Berkel and what she says, and I think she's squeaky clean. So I've not really experienced in kind of black hat schema as such, but something I probably will try further down the line. If anyone else has got any positive stuff to share, please do leave it in the comments if that stuff does work for anyone else. You know, we're all here to help each other. So yeah, let us know if anyone's had success with that. Gareth Dane, will ignore that one, he's trolling. What's a black hat link? Mike Crest, black cat links are the best. Imran Khan, what is black hat SEO use? You know, it's a very vague question. You know, it's black hat SEO. It's just SEO in general. We're just doing real SEO, not your fluffy agency crap that's out
Everybody, if you go out and build one link, you're now a black hat.
So URD, my deleted posts and pages are still indexing on Google.
I'd go into Search Console and clear those out, you know.
Yeah. Now, I'll give you a quick tip. Now, I'm assuming, you know, you go to Search Console, clear them out. If you have deleted these and that's been going on for months, they may be jammed in the index or some weird shit like that. You can put a 410 status code on there, and normally very quickly that gets them out of the index. And then you can 301 it to wherever the hell you want to go. Just in case you do have some jam thing going on there, because it does happen now and again. But yeah, if you've only deleted them yesterday or something like that and they're still there, you know, it might take a bit of time. CBD cakes. Man, the cakes look fucking good, man. What is domain stacking?
I mean, we discussed this once before. I mean, there's multiple different ways of domain stacking. I mean, there's different variations of it. People think of it in different ways. I mean, it could be different entities being stacked, whether it's websites. It could be powerful websites stacked or powerful PBN stacked. It could be Google stacks. It could be Amazon stacks. It just depends on what you're doing. So
yeah. There's as Chris says, I can't really add too much more to it than that, other than, you know, it depends what you're stacking. You know, to build, just to give you a clear thing in your head, what I tend to do is build some Google. So I do some Google stacking at the start of a campaign. So use Google entities to give a website a little bit of power, you know, just a bit of DR to begin with, and people might say, "Oh, that's shit" or whatever. Who cares if it's shit? You know, it's part of my process, and it gives me a bit of power. So that's just a little process that I've always kind of stuck to. And whether it makes a huge difference or not, I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty sure that it works out well for me in the end. So yeah, just part of my thing. But Karan Singh, Karan, good to see you. It looks like a nice background you got there, mate. Very
beautiful, yeah.
What kind of parasites are working these days, Chris?
It depends on the SERPs and the keywords that I'm targeting. So if I'm doing particular keyword research and on the first page or the second page, if I see any site that's a Web 2, right, this is now a parasite, then I know that for that SERP, Google's rewarding those parasites. So then I'll go and build out those because I know I have a chance to get into the SERP. So if you do a search for any type of keywords, you have a list of 100, do a search, check the SERP. If you're seeing Medium or if you're seeing Blogger or seeing whatever, then you know that's the parasite for this SERP, because Google always shows one or two. I'm sure you've noticed. So that's the way I do it.
So yeah, I mean, there's loads of different parasites that work and still work very well. Try them all out and see what works. You know, I use SEO Autopilot for kind of parasite stuff, and it automates them, and you know, it builds them out, and it definitely creates power. I've actually stolen. Well, I'm not going to share this. I was going to tell you a story on that, but I'm not going to now. But building, so I'll tell you a bit of it, right? So parasites and whatever, you can call it whatever you like, but we can now pretty much get a DR 40 plus within 20 days using some Google stacking and some parasites, and put it that way. So in 20 days using SEO Autopilot, but there'll be more on that in the future. Still doing a few tests. But yeah, I basically took a website that I've got, a domain name, very old domain name, that was DR0 last week. At present, it's DR24, and we're hoping that to be DR40 plus within the next week once all the lights kick in. So, and that's all just done using different parasites and a bit of Google stacking. So, yeah, just gives a bit of power. And it's an autopilot, which is fucking nice. Safa, what are the most underrated footprints which can expose black hat practices?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was going to touch on this before, but when I'm looking for what's working currently, black hat, when like the casino guy or pharmacy is really good. If you go and check and see who's ranking for those particular types of terms, and then you do some analysis, you can really get some excellent ideas of what black hat, footprints or practices are working very well. So I would see who's winning at doing the really, black hat stuff, and then just learn from them. I get ideas all the time. So that's why I started thinking like, wow, all these guys are using these EDUs. Like, what's the deal here? So, and then I found out.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to add any more to that. I mean, there's a million underrated footprints which can expose black hat practices. You could talk all day on that subject alone. Just try and just be careful, whatever, if you're setting up PBNs or whatever it's going to be, just try and segregate everything up as if you were buying one website, one email, one website, pay for it. Different than, a fake persona on there or whatever. I'm probably way overcautious, but it's worked well for me over the years. Probably cost me slightly more money, but I don't wake up and have a whole shit ton of stuff going down the toilet pan. Jerry Van S, thanks for answering, lads. No problem at all. No moral compass it is, Jerry. Good luck with that casino stuff. Just buy guest post, do whatever, man. Power that shit up. Imran Khan, how to search profitable keywords. Imran, I've actually removed Imran Khan from the chat because he was just asking very, very basic stuff, and he was asking millions of them. Sorry, Imran, but you have to do a bit more research on things like that yourself. It's not something we can really hand to you in a plate as such. Mark Sutherland, thanks for the info you guys put out. What are your thoughts on Google only making docs publicly viewable? No need for link to view on G Suite, not free accounts anymore. Any workaround for that?
I mean, if you take a look at the docs are still passing power. But if you take a look at the presentations, they're still indexing. They're still working well. So I would take a look at slides. And I think you'll be a lot happier.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm not really that big on docs or fucking about there and trying to share power from that kind of stuff. So I'm not really getting much to answer on that, because I think any kind of stuff like that. It's just I try and not show anything in Google Docs, to be honest with you. Better being safe than sorry. I don't want people reading my docs. You know, all my sexy secrets. Yes, Gareth, a good turnout today, and we do appreciate it. While everyone's there, please give us a little comment, like, love, just to make sure that we feel loved here, and we're not just talking to fresh air. Bruno Souza, my man, what are your favourite tools for black hat link building, Chris?
Well, I mean, I've said multiple times I still use GSA. I've used RankerX in the past. I mean, that's pretty much it right now. I know that SEO Autopilot, I know that you love that, but other than that, that's it. It's just so much easier. I mean, there's so many $1 and $2 niche edits that you can go and get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very easy, and link begging is very effective. So
link begging, I love that word.
It is.
Yeah. No, I think in terms of tools, I would use GSA, SEO. I'm more SEO Autopilot, and that's just for tier 2 and all that kind of stuff. You know, I think buying guest posts or niche edits, whether that's for tier 2 or tier 1 or whatever it's going to be, is what I would tend to do. You know, you've got to spend some money and let some other schmuck do the outreach, or whatever it's going to be, because it's just not best use of my time. But yeah, in terms of tools for black hat link building, I think it's still the same old tools. There's nothing cool or new out there that I'm aware of anyway in terms of automated link building, other than SEO Autopilot, which is fairly new. And obviously the guy from there was fed up with Money Robot and decided to make his own, because Money Robot weren't basically taking on the changes that he wanted to see implemented. So definitely highly recommend that one.
I do like a tool. I mean, as far as, I mean, I'm not trying, I use a tool. It's called Autofill Magic, and that's for like Web 2s. Have you ever used it, Craig?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
I like it a lot. It was really cheap. I got it at a beta. I mean, this was years ago, but it's really cool. I mean, if somebody's just looking to build out, say 200 Web 2s, I really like that, and it's super cheap. So I don't know the guy or anything. It's not a plug. I'm just saying it's a cool tool.
Mike Christine, is this a white hat talk content? Come on. Now, he's right. A lot of the questions are, I mean, all the questions come from the public. We are not asking the questions, but yeah, dig deeper, man. Ask us some black hat stuff. And we'll certainly answer them. Gareth Dane is asking, what's your strategy for anchor text ratios?
It depends on the SERP. It depends on who's above me. I mean, I'm obviously going to analyze who's being rewarded, and then I would try to fall in line with that. So that's as far as I would go with that. What do you think, Craig?
I mean, I just try and, I mean, I'm probably one of those guys who probably overstep the mark slightly with anchor text. Sometimes I go in, very, very specific with keyword stuff if I'm really pushing it out. But what I would say is that's on links that I'm buying or on really powerful websites. They're probably very keyword rich. Everything else around about it is literally mixed up with no real rhyme or reason, just very generic, and just try to mix it up as much as I possibly can. And obviously a lot of the tier 2 stuff is very, very, very generic. And that's just the way I do it. But with anything that I feel is very relevant and very powerful, I will slap on an exact match anchor. And I think unless you're doing that by the shitload, thousands and thousands of them, then you're going to be fine. When I go out and buy links, for example, it'll be like I'll go and buy 10 just now and fuck about, and then I'll do some blasts using SEO Autopilot or whatever it's going to be. And then maybe a 301 redirect into that as well, and a couple of PBNs with some generic stuff. So yeah, I don't overthink it either. I just do what I think is right, and I'm using the more powerful stuff for exact match, and then the further down the chain, the just looser it gets. So yeah, that's my strategy. But
It's always easy to get a naked or a branded, though. I'm noticing with the more white hat links, it's hard to get the exacts, you know. And a lot of times too, when you're trying to build links and you're talking to people, they don't listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but they never listen.
Yeah, that obviously comes down to how you're approaching it, you know, and where you're getting a link and all that kind of stuff as well. It's not always your choice, so to speak. So, yeah. Cheers, Didier.
Cheers to you.
What are some strategies for App Store optimization to rank higher on the Google Play Store?
You know, I'm not necessarily the guy for that, but I know that Holly would, you know, I've heard her say some really amazing things. So, you know, I'm not a guy I don't do anything there.
I think downloads, click-through rate, manipulation, Holly Stark style is exactly what you need. You either have to have Android emulators, tons of phones, or a network of people to help you with that. There is no off-the-shelf tool that can do that efficiently as yet, but I know people like Holly Starks and stuff, she's going to end up coming out with a tool for this shit. So
she has a network.
Yeah, Holly has a network. She also fucking has her own in-house network. If you've seen her 100 phone stuff and stuff like that. So, she spent an outrageous amount of money on overall being able to manipulate that. And I think you can just go to Holly Starks, find her on Facebook. She can do it for you for a fee, rather than you going out and buying 100 phones or 500 phones or whatever it takes to do that. She can make sure. I know she does podcasts and ranks them for people and all that kind of stuff. So again, you've got to weigh up the cost of setup against the cost of her doing it. And I think off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure she said for $500 a month or $500 a month, she could rank your podcast number one, or for whatever you wanted. Now, for $500, I'd rather spend that with Holly month on month than spending. She spent literally just spent 20 grand on phones and the setup she's got for a test. So God knows what she spent over the years building up her network and everything else, but not something I would try and emulate. I would just join forces with Holly and say, Holly, sort me out. And she's very approachable, lovely lady. Get in there and speak to her. Just find her on Facebook, Holly Starks.
I'm surprised she didn't go the route of having, multiple people download an APK so she could control all the phones like a cloud network,
Yeah.
I'm wondering. Who knows?
She might have,
Yeah.
might just not want to tell people that she's got that shit.
Of course.
But what I can say for a fact with Holly is her shit works 100%. I couldn't care less whether it's 100 phones or 100,000 phones. That's her problem. If she, if you're paying her, she'll fucking do the damage.
It works. Who cares?
Yeah. Oh shit. Sorry, Michael Fielding. Good to see you here, buddy. High authority, non-relevant links, or a lower authority relevant link, or both?
Relevancy for power is completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter as far as now is concerned. You can go out and get links from anywhere and you're going to get power and get benefit. However, for future proofing, I would stick with topical. I would just stick with topical. So if you have a long-term project, I would be looking for the most authoritative, relevant links that you possibly can find. Now, if you're just looking at a 6-month or a year project, whatever the most powerful is for the best price, that's what I'd go for. So that's up to you.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But obviously, so both, yeah. But yeah, I think future-proofing your business is the way forward, because I know, Michael,
yes.
I think future-proofing your business, because one day, people are all complaining about this May update. What you don't want to be is in maybe 2022 or 2023 when Google decide to slap, a penalty on non-relevant links, or tweak it slightly or whatever, and you take a massive dip. You're going to be going, oh, for fuck's sake. So, I think trying to future-proof it and build up as much relevance as you can is the way I would do it. But, do you know what? There's websites out there like Behance and all that kind of stuff. All the kind of high-power websites, and everyone's got links on them. So why not? We all need to have a base of high authority websites, and these are not necessarily relevant to what we do. So, yeah.
I think they're getting away from, and the more and more, I mean, the more that they're going on and the more they're understanding, they're creating those vectors. They're getting crazy with understanding content and authority and putting the pieces together. As that goes on, I think that the links are going to become less and less effective. So it's just future proof. That's my best advice.
Yeah, because remember, you're using cold hard cash just now. Make sure it works for you for the long term rather than the short.
Yes.
Buck, just think smartly. Dave Willemstein, how do you guys work with IP locations and server locations for the best result about hiding footprints for PBNs? How do you work with uploading the content to your PBN sites with VPNs and clean browsers? Have you got any tips for that, Chris?
I was using, I just use Mozilla, and there's an extension. I'm on Chrome right now. As far as keeping everything separate, I mean, and again, I don't have 1,000 sites or 100 sites or anything. But as far as the IPs are concerned and putting up IP locations for server locations, I want to make sure that they're in the country that I'm trying to target. As far as footprints, you just want to keep everything completely separate, whether you're using Browsio or Ghost Browser, or maybe you're using Mozilla. They have these extensions. I forget what they're called. I know I use Omega Proxy Switcher. And then as far as VPNs,
no VPN.
I don't really use the VPNs. I do have a Tor VPN that I just access online with. But other than that, I would just keep all the accounts separate. One is one website, just like you're one person building out a website. Every entity is its own. So that's the process. And I had some very bad experiences with those providers that you could buy, like, say, $5 a month and you can launch a bunch of sites and they keep the IP separate. Don't go for that. Like those PBN hosts and all that stuff, just pay the extra money and build them out one at a time. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I'm old fashioned in that respect. Build them. I've tried a few PBN hosts in the past and not been good. They're really slow as well.
I don't trust them.
On top of Ghost Browser, now I personally use Ghost Browser for fake personas, not just for PBNs, but I use fake personas for a number of other reasons as well, as I'm sure many people do. One browser has one IP, and you can log in and it stores all your details and all that shit so that you don't have to remember all the logins all the time. But there's also another one called multi-login, which apparently is better than Ghost Browser. I've not actually tried it out yet, but just another suggestion there. But I think, in terms of being able to hide footprints, we can't reiterate enough, one email, one account, one hosting company per PBN. There's a million hosting companies out there with different IP addresses and all that stuff. And that has always worked for me. There are PBN hosts out there galore and they claim to be doing this, that, and the next thing. But as Chris says, now there was one, and I think it was called the Easy Blog Networks a few years ago, were trying to get me to move over. And the reason I didn't like it is because my PBNs are money sites, so they're affiliate sites. And they basically would put my website. So when I selected a PBN on the dashboard, they would put my website in some random server. It could have been an Australian server. And I'm trying to target the UK for some hotels. I mean, what good is that to me? So be careful with them because they just slap your website in any old server. Unless someone has come up with something better that now does the job more efficiently, then have a look at it. But I always play the cautious card. So so there you go.
Yeah, they're probably just buying blocks and then selling off the sections, partitioning the servers. Like, I would steer clear. Yeah. Do it yourself.
These guys are selling to people who don't understand the PBN game. That's their market. They'll sell you any old shit as long as it ticks the right boxes. They'll tell you, it's all shared and all that stuff. But yeah, be careful. And good morning to Craig Mullins. Good to see you.
Craig.
Gareth, killing it in the old views, man. Yep, and I'm looking forward to starting a show with Mr. Gareth Dane as well. Rafael Santos, I love that name. What do you think? What do you think PBN with Blogs 2.0?
Using Web 2s to create your own network. I mean, I wouldn't look at it that way. I would more look at it as a way to filter out lower quality links, and a way to safeguard your name, your brand name, or your business name. That's one of the main reasons if I do take on somebody to build out the Web 2s. It's for two reasons. One, to take them up before the competitor. Two, to buffer links. That's it. So I wouldn't look at it as a PBN. If the PBN is specifically for passing power to internal pages or home pages, whatever you want. So
yeah,
that's my opinion.
I'll just stick with that. It was about the tags earlier on. Amir Iqbal, what would be your content strategy for the big news website with thousands of old news? Should we keep it in the archives or delete? Webmaster Console only shows 30k pages are crawled, but we have over 80. So obviously that comes down to your crawl budget and all that. Amir,
I had somebody that had a very large site, and they had a similar question, but it wasn't really news. But what I would be looking at is which of those pages are actually receiving traffic, more than 200, a month. And then I would clear out all the rest. So that's the way I would go. And Google has no problem crawling these sites. In my opinion, what do you feel about that crawl budget, Craig? I think they can. I think that's a fallacy.
I would say Google are never going to come out and say slam our fucking servers full of shit with as much as you want. They have to try and stop the masses doing it. I would kind of lean towards what you're saying, where I think they can, and crawl budget's probably a whole bunch of shit. However, Google are never going to admit that, and that's all obviously down to your own testing and stuff like that. But I've never really had an issue with it. No.
And that new guy they have on there that does the Java SEO talks, he slips all the time, and he says there's no problem, million-page sites and stuff. He's he's a way looser than John. So I've been watching him. He comes off with his talks are a lot better, I think.
I think. Do you know what? Google have got a system or a server to kind of protect as well, though. You've got to kind of see from their point of view. If they said to everyone, let's do this, let's do that, all hell would fucking break loose, So I'm quite glad that people believe some of the nonsense that comes out of their mouths.
It's almost like if they say it, do the opposite and you'll win.
Yeah, it kind of is with everything to do with SEO. But there you go. Didier Slammer, is there a website that you think is perfect in terms of SEO? If so, why and how do they achieve perfection? I can show you stuff in private, Didier. Don't want to show too much on here of websites that I think I've done real good stuff on. But what I would say as well is there's no such thing as the perfect website. Even, our own websites are never perfect because we don't have enough hours in the day to
work on them.
Stuff. And you throw stuff out there and you're like, oh, fuck, that was a shit idea or shit content. I'm going through old posts just now going, what the fuck was I writing here? Because you look at it, you analyse it and say, right, that's not offering any value to my audience. It's not ranking well. It doesn't bring in any traffic. So, I have to just mix it up. Everything is a constant learning curve. And as I say, there's no one doing the perfect SEO. I think I could pick holes in Chris's websites. Chris could pick holes all over my websites. And, and we could all do that with each other. It just comes down to time, and I've yet to see someone's website where I've went, fuck. I'll tell you one, actually. Gearhungry.com was an Amazon affiliate website, which is still going. And if you look at the scale of which they grew that website, which was an Amazon affiliate website from 2018 to 2020, to literally from nothing to getting millions and millions of hits per month, and they sold the website for millions. Someone recently bought it, and that's a good example, actually, Didier. So have a look at that. That is, in terms of scalability, close to perfection. The sheer volume of content that we're adding, the sheer link building that we're doing, the sheer everything that we're doing, you know, all the internal links, everything on that website, as far as I'm concerned, was bloody.
Oh, we're doing. So you had a hand in that. You helped with that.
No. I never heard. It's not.
Oh, I thought you said work.
No. No, nothing at all to do with me. That was a website I always just kept an eye on, because I thought, you know, it's just the sheer scale at what they were doing. Everything was done at sheer fucking scale. To do that in 2 years, to go from nothing to Ahrefs show that they were getting 2 million, they're probably getting 5 million hits a month. You know, the stats there that we are seeing using the tools are nowhere near accurate. So, yeah, that is the way it goes. But we've got 10 minutes, guys, left. Please do give us a kind of like, subscribe, but do not put any more questions in the live chat, because I'm only at 5:30 just now. There's a whole bunch of other questions.
We do a quick fire.
Yeah, we'll do quick fire in the next 10 minutes. But any further questions that's going to come in here, put them in the actual comments under the video, and it means that later on, hopefully me or Chris or whatever can stick an answer on there for you as well, because we do want to offer value. So please do leave them now in the comments. So, buying guest posts from EDU websites, worth it in any niche?
It is, depending on where you're buying them from and where the EDUs are coming from.
Cool. Dante F, the most cost-effective recommendations for powering up citations.
Niche edits.
Which provider do you use to buy visits and send to your website? Do you
Microworkers?
Microworkers. Michael DeSoy, thanks for all of this. I know Guy was starting out, but love the lemon. Good luck. So Ken, you often talk about EDU and gov links lately. Do those links go in and help increase the site's authority?
Over the course of time, and it depends on the type of link. Generally, I just really like passing power through them. But yes, the answer is yes, over time.
Perfect. Mohammed Hussein, automate or manual link building is better?
Both.
Yeah, mix it up. 2, automate. Tier 1, money website, make sure it's manual.
That's right.
Indian man, I have a Valentine images domain. Can I post OG images other than Valentine's Day?
Absolutely, because people are trying to look for ideas. I mean, any way that you can try to get traffic, I would always put it up. And Pinterest for photos is amazing. So yes, always. Why not? And repost them. Keep going.
Yeah. LF, is PBN domain TLD relevant to the whole PBN power? Need to set up a PBN with a top level domain and relevant to country of my money website.
I think maybe at first, because of the the TLD, like say you're in India.in, maybe at first you might notice a little bit of a bump, but over the long haul and over the big picture, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. So it's irrelevant, really. You can go either way. .com, .in, whatever you want. So
mix it up. I would say try and have a small proportion towards the country you're going to, initially, just to show Google what you're going for, but thereafter.
But don't make them all the same. Don't leave that.
Mix them all up. Punju. So basically, Holly Starks has a phone farm. I'm not saying she's got a phone farm.
I don't know.
She's got whatever the hell she does, it works, and she has a shitload of phones. I can confirm that because I've seen them with my own eyes. So yeah, but maybe she just likes talking a lot, and who knows? She does like talking a lot, by the way. David, no problem. Mohammed Hussein, is UX or next step better than links?
I think it's I think that that's the type of engagement that Google is looking for you to build links. There needs to be an event, something needs to happen for the link building to take place. So user engagement and traffic coming to the site is necessary for link building. So that's a huge tip right there.
Yeah. Don't ignore UX, by the way. Never ever ignore UX. It does do.
User signals and engagement are what will trigger so you can start building links.
Yeah.
It's key.
The Asia secret. Do you power up tier 1 guest posts as soon as the guest post link is indexed, or do you wait some time then power up? Why wait? Why wait?
I'm sending links as soon as I know that it's there, even before. So, yes, to help it get it, yes.
Yeah, blast that shit right away. Do not wait. Anyone who says you need to wait 10 days or any weird shit like that is absolutely lying to you. So, yeah, there you go. World Tech Fit sponsored and paid links are coming in penalty.
I haven't had any issues with that. I've had numerous sponsored posts on .edu sites, and I've yet to run into a penalty. Knock on and all the wood in the world.
Yeah, knock on it as well. But yeah, I can't see that getting a penalty. Can we defeat a strong site using black hats? Yes.
You can defeat anybody with the right budget.
What was the price of tea in China?
Cheap.
Euros. Google it, man. I'm not a tea drinker, but so how to search profitable keywords? Imran Khan, use SEMrush.
Yep, there you go. SEMrush.
Or Ahrefs or some of the other
Majestic.
out there.
I like Mazda's difficulty score, though. I'm not going to lie.
Come on, you've went right down in my estimation now. Anyone who likes anything Moz is a... Nah, I'm only kidding. Moz was a good tool back in the day.
The accounts are so easy to get, though. That's why sometimes,
Yeah.
Just easy, man.
URD, purchasing SERP clicks to increase search engine CTR worth. Now, if you're referring to... There is a service called SERP clicks. I'm not sure if you're referring to that, but that is dog shit. Stay away from it. But CTR is a big thing. Now, whether you're talking about using paid promotion to force clicks, micro workers, or some other way of getting real clicks, that is a good thing. But using SERP clicks, the CTR bot or whatever the hell it is dog shit. So we all want real engagement, whether you have to use quote ads, whether you have to pay Chris, $50 for a shout out and he's going to drive some of his traffic to it, whatever. Click-through rate is a big thing. And you can get it at a fairly low cost. Target the Indian audience on Facebook ads. You get a shit ton of stuff for 1p a click. There's loads of things to do. And sorry, you might even be from India, but that's the cheap way I do it. And
for job postings, that is so effective.
So you can do that, and hopefully that will help. Mike Crest, what is the best way to land a featured snippet?
I think you really need to analyze what's already there. Analyze what's there. I was able to do that for drive stacks, and it worked. Analyze what's there. And as far as that NLP tool, just make sure that you're positive, you're on the right track, what's already there. And generally, as long as you're on the first page, you're going to get it. So that's my best advice.
Cool. Ayush, what best tips you would give to someone who's starting blogging as a career?
Hire a writer. I hate writing. That's a horrible question for me because I really loathe writing. So my heart goes out to you, brother. So good, best of luck to you.
Listen, blogging is a good career. You can make money from it, but it is fucking hard work. A lot of content, and it's not just about writing videos. You've got to do the full thing, social media interaction. It's a big, big job. It's not just about churning out some content. You can sit in a dungeon. I think there's bloggers who do that, but in order to drive more traffic and become a real blogger, you're going to have to do videos and everything else and make unique content. Do not copy people. Add your own spin on to it and be yourself. You do not have to be the next Gary Vaynerchuk or, the next Neil Patel. We've all got different personalities, different angles, different shit to say, different stories to tell. Be yourself is what I would say to anyone. And you can make money advertising online. Any suggestion of a service for non-native English to hire content writers? I'm assuming you're a non-native person and you're looking to hire English content writers. If I've got that wrong, is that what you're taking from that, Chris?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, there's content mills everywhere. I mean, it's finding content writers is not hard, but finding one that writes well and follows directions, that's hard.
Here is the tip, though: do not dismiss South Africa. There's guys in South Africa who write a shit ton of content at a very low cost. They've got the same kind of cost of living as the Asians do. So you can get a full-time content writer for $400 or $500 a month, and you will get someone who is actually native in English. So I don't know why I've always dismissed it. I don't know if it's just because in the map I look left and right and don't really bother with what's down. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in South Africa as well. So tons of people out there. It's just digging around. It's hard to get good content writers. What happened to TikTok rating? 1.3 stars only. I don't know if that's my TikTok rating. Probably my bad moves, or
I don't have TikTok. I deleted it.
But yeah, I've got it, and he's doing all right. But if you want to,
I just didn't like the it seemed like it was too flooded with younger. You know what I mean? Because I was putting out like marketing stuff and it wasn't hitting very well. But then as soon as I started making funny stuff, then it started getting the views, Yeah. I was like,
you go on there to waste time and have a bit of a laugh.
My daughter loves it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ronak Jane, you're from India, 15-year-olds, and you want to start blogging. So we mentioned to the other guy. So hopefully you follow those same tips. We'll get 2 questions left, and then we will go. IP lyrics. How can a copyright claim be removed from a specific channel?
Just give it a little bit of time, and it will go away. 90 days. I had an income because I used a photo of a particular blogging channel, and they claimed my video. After 3 months, it goes away. Or they give you their email. You can email them, and they'll give you, you could talk it out. These gentlemen didn't want to talk it out.
Perfect. We've actually got 2 more now. Place of energy. Do links from sites like Medium or Minds move the needle?
Not necessarily, but they're good for traffic. You can get some traffic as long as the content is nice. You start getting those claps. Medium has some benefit, but not really for links.
Andy Bell, this is the last one. When buying blog post links, is it better to have a brand new article, or is it okay for links to be put in an old post from, say, 5 years ago?
As long I always pitch for established articles that have links, as long as they're getting some traffic. I don't care if it's 5 years old, but it has to be getting some traffic. Links without traffic are a no-go.
Traffic is always the key part of it. So there you go.
Yep.
Yo is saying collab with Neil Patel.
Oh, I've been messaging him for a year. He keeps telling me, message me on LinkedIn. I'm like, all right.
Someone's cousin likes my TikTok videos. Thank you very much. I'll have another one coming out tonight. Do follow me on TikTok. And how can we rank top to blogging? We mentioned content, all of that stuff. It's just a hard slog. But sadly, guys, we are at...
Thank you, Andy.
We're 4 minutes over. Thank you very much again for everyone coming. It was quick. And hopefully we've got a lot of questions answered. Hopefully you're still up for coming back next week, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. Surely.
We will be back next week. The questions are all down to you guys, so make sure you continue to ask different questions. Also give Chris's channel some love. He has a whole bunch of top videos on his channel that, you know, he's churning out at least one a day at the moment. His link to his channel is in the comments. So please do give Chris a bit of love as well. He's doing some great stuff away from me. So it's not just this. And obviously, as I say, you can see my channel. We've got a lot of stuff on here as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back same time next week. And yes, I do know Umar's blogger. Umar is a 15-year-old blogger from India who is my friend, does well. So just give him a shout out. But thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone. And we will catch you all next week.
Sounds good. Have a good one, Craig.
Cheers. You too.